Hello! Today we are doing something a little bit different, and that is like a little bit of a thought exercise as to which Straw Hat would survive the Squid Game. If you would ask me flat out who would win, my immediate gut reaction would be Zoro. Just because I see Zoro being good at survival and stuff like that. But that's not taking into account the skill needed to pass every game. So I kind of made a little bit of a thought exercise of it. I did prepare for this because I didn't want to be thinking too much about it. I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, and I hope you agree. If you disagree with my choices or the way I thought about this, let me know in the comments what you think or which Straw Hat you think would do better with the games. I stuck with just the Straw Hats just because One Piece has such a vast cast, and I just think it's more interesting to just focus on these 9, and it would be fun. For this game I did follow just the games of the show, and I also included the night fight as a game since it's technically a part of the games. Oh, for the record, I am not including Devil Fruit abilities in this game in the games, except for Brooks, just because he needs to live, but he doesn't have his soul changing or something like that. When he dies, okay? But I feel like Haki or Devil Fruit abilities would give a certain advantage, and I just wanted to have a level playing field for everyone. Also, for the purpose of the video, we are assuming that there are about equal amounts of players as there were in the show, just to make it for me a little bit easier, because just a Squid Game with 9 players is just not realistic. So let's start with the first game, which is Red Light, Green Light. The rules are very simple. You run when she's singing. When she stops singing, you have to make sure you stop and don't move. If you move, you're out. And with out, I mean dead. This is the deadliest game of the whole show, and it was so cool to see. For this game, you are not allowed to freak out, and you have to just stay focused and go for it. And that is unfortunately not something my boy Usopp is very good at. I really tried not to let my biases show through this. I have a few characters in the Straw Hats that I like more than others, but I tried to not let that be a factor in my decision making. And unfortunately, I think Usopp would not survive this game, and that's because his reaction to this sort of game is mostly either freeze or run away, and neither of these is going to help him, because run away, well, he will die immediately, just like all the other people did. And even if he doesn't do that and he freezes up, I think it's going to take him too long to just defreeze and start going for the game before the time runs out, because you can see a lot of people that are still playing the game, but once the timer ran out they got shut down anyway, just because they didn't progress far enough during the time limit. So I feel Usopp sadly would not survive this game. This game is really just Zoro's and Sanji's to win. Honestly, they're both very athletic and probably would not have any problem with the freezing and stuff like that, and probably even Sanji even better than Zoro, just because, well, his power is in his legs, so this guy just zooms through this game. Brook probably would also freak out a little bit, just because he tends to do that, but he would probably know when to stop just for his survival instinct, and Robin, Frankie and Jinbei probably also just managed to pass this game without too much trouble. Nami also isn't the bravest and also would tend to panic, but she's also very smart and really analytical and quick thinking and quick on her feet, so I feel she would pass this game as well. After the initial shock, she would just gather herself, her survival instincts would kick in, and she would go for it, and I feel she would pass as well. Then we reached the 2 Straw Hats that I really had a lot of difficulty deciding whether they would survive this or not, and that's Luffy and Chopper. For Luffy, I have no doubt that he would be good at the athletic part, but he's also very energetic and very go for it and I don't care attitude, which honestly might just be a disadvantage for him when he needs to freeze and stand still. However, I think here I am going to give Luffy a pass, because he really is someone that wants to succeed, and if you tell him this is the rules and you cannot do anything else, I feel he might just be determined enough to just play the game. So I'm gonna give Luffy a pass here. Then we get to Chopper, and this was a really difficult one for me to decide, because it's so hard to gauge how Chopper would react. He's just like Nami and Usopp, as in he panics when something's happening, and unfortunately I think, unlike Luffy, he would have a lot of trouble staying still, and he would be a lot of trembling and stuff like that, and I feel that would be to his detriment. So after red light and green light, I would have to eliminate Usopp and Chopper, which honestly saddens me because I love these two a lot. Then we get to the next challenge, which is the Dalgona Candy challenge, which was honestly something I've never heard before. Like, we have our own variation of red light and green light here in Belgium, but we don't have something like the Dalgona Candy game. The rules of this game are also really simple. Cut out the shape without breaking it and you're done. But this really mostly comes down to which shape each straw hat would like pick, which was really difficult for me to like think about and like determine what shape they would take. So I actually asked some people to help me because it was so difficult. I did manage to find a shape for everyone, and I hope you agree. You might disagree, but it's in the end just a shape, so yeah. I also really did think about how in the show people passed this game without having like the fine motoric like sense to just be really nice with the shape, so I kept that in mind as well. Since Soto is a simple guy, I feel like he would pick a very simple shape, so it would probably be the circle, the square, or the triangle. In this case, I somehow feel like he would be gravitating towards the square, so I picked square for Zoro. And honestly, like, he might not seem like the guy for like fine handiwork or anything, but he is used to like handling a sword, so I feel like cutting out this shape with a needle would just be like in his mind, like, this is swordsman training, I can do this, and he would probably pass the game. Sanji was a difficult one for me. I keep like going back and forth towards like the star and the umbrella for Sanji, just because I feel like he would like gravitate toward more intricate shapes. But then I remember like Minyao, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna butcher these Korean names, just telling you, but Minyao, she had her lighter and she used that to like warm up the needle to cut out the candy. So I feel like Sanji would probably do something similar, considering he's a smoker, and I was like, okay, that's just something that clicked into my mind, and I felt like, okay, yeah, maybe let's give Sanji that advantage. So I would say he would be successful in cutting out the shape, whether it be the umbrella or the star, but I personally think more the star, my friends think more the umbrella. But it doesn't matter, the guy has his lighter, and I feel like that would be his advantage in this game. I don't know why I picked the circle for Jinbei. I just felt like, hey, that suits. I think Jinbei would like the circle, so I gave Jinbei the circle. Jinbei also gives me the air of a very like calm and collected guy, so he would not start to like freak out while cutting out the shape, and I think he would pass this successfully as well. Then we get to Frankie, and this one was also a lot of difficulty for me because, like I said, I'm not including any devil fruit abilities, but Frankie is also like a cyborg, so I wasn't sure what kind of abilities cyborg-wise I was going to include. For Frankie, it's really not even a question what shape he would take the star. That's 100% Frankie, come on, you cannot argue me. I will accept criticism on the shapes from every other character except Frankie, he is taking the star. And like at first I was like, oh, Frankie wouldn't have like the fine handling to cut out the shape. But then I remembered like he has this small hand coming out of his bigger hand to do like smaller work on the Thousand Sunny and everything as well. So I feel like he would be capable of doing intricate things, so I'm giving a pass here. But it was really difficult for me to decide if I would like let that included or not. But I am going to say that he passes just because, well, he has fines, like he can work intricately due to his inventions and everything like that. Another difficult one was Brook. I am fairly certain he would gravitate towards the umbrella, and it's kind of difficult to imagine whether he would be good at it or not, because his sword is like very thin and like a little bit needle-like, more rapier-like, and I feel like that would translate into word skill with working with a needle. And similarly, like I gave Zoro the point for being a swordsman as well, so I might have to do the same with Brook. But then again, Gi-hun from the show was the only one who managed to get his umbrella out, and it was not through use of the needle. So I'm really not sure what to do with Brook here right now, so I'm just gonna leave him be for a second. Nami probably gravitates towards a simpler shape, or maybe the star, but I think also a more simpler shape, and due to her like cartography skills, I feel like she would be good at like intricate shapes and everything, so I think she would pass this game as well. Of all the characters in Straw Hats, I feel like Robin would be the only one who would figure out what the game is. Like, I see her much as like a Sang-Hoo type in this game. Like, she's definitely more like him, and I feel like she would like figure out what the game is and pick something simple like the triangle and just pass with flying colors, honestly. Yeah, I see Robin being smart enough to figure this out. Then we have Luffy. Oh my god, like, this is difficult because, like, I can see Luffy just, like, being like Eon and licking the candy because he would like the taste of it. But I also feel like he would have so much difficulty, like, controlling himself eating the candy. And I already gave him a pass the last game, so I don't think I can do it again now. So out of this game, I feel like Luffy is going to lose. I'm sorry. I hate it because I wanted Luffy to go further, but I think Luffy would not be able to contain himself. Like, I already gave him a pass last game, I cannot do it again. I really cannot. For Brook, I am going to give him his first pass and give him the benefit of the doubt, but that he would, like, pass the game. But yeah, this is where we sadly lose Luffy. Then we get to the midnight fight, which is kind of a fight encouraged by the guards for between players to start killing each other because they do get the money from it. And yeah, this one was also fun to think about because, well, survival instinct versus ability is really a thing here. Zoro would probably be smart enough to not pick fights, but he also wouldn't shy away from any fights coming his way, and he would definitely accept the challenge. However, I have no doubt in my mind that Zoro would manage to, like, defeat other people. He's above average when it comes to fighting, and I feel like that would really benefit him. So I am going to give Zoro once again a pass. Nami and Robin probably would be smart enough to start, like, trying to team up with people just for their protection because they might know that they are not as physically gifted as some others, so they will probably look for some people to ally with. And I could see that happening with Jinbei and with Sanji. Sanji mostly because he wants to, like, protect the girls and stuff like that. The girls would probably be a big target just because they seem weak, and then Sanji would jump in and protect. And while he is a strong fighter, I am afraid that he might get overwhelmed, and that's where he loses his life. Of course it will be just before the game ends because he's going to keep those ladies safe if it costs him his life, which it will in this game because, well, I said so. I'm sorry. Like, it's not like I want Sanji to die because he's one of my favorite Straw Hats, like easily second or third favorite Straw Hat, so, like, no, but yeah. Jinbei and Frankie are both quite capable of fighting without weapons, so I feel like they won't have any trouble like Jinbei with his fishman karate, because I feel like that's just a natural skill to have, like, karate exists in the real world and he could have, like, learned that, so I feel like that is something that I am going to have to give to Jinbei. Then for Brook, I'm sorry, but I feel like we are going to have to say goodbye to Brook here just because, well, he wouldn't be allowed his sword, so he wouldn't have that, and while he is a skilled swordsman, I don't see him as a very strong fighter physically, especially with, like, his scrawny body and everything. I feel like he would be very much a target as well just because he would be seen weak, just like Nami and Robin, and I feel like this would be the end of the line for both Brook and Sanji. Then we get to tug of war, and here as an obvious winner comes to mind Zoro once again, but we have to keep in mind that not only strong teams have won, also people who just played smartly. Strength-wise, Nami and Robin are less gifted, but they are also very, very smart, so they would try to pair up with someone like, for example, Zoro, that they know that will probably be able to help them through. And Zoro wouldn't say no to the women, because his whole thing with Kuina, he would not have a bias against women. I think so. So I would, like, imagine them forming together and forming a group. So in the end, while Zoro would be able to choose between, like, a strong group, he could also just pick the girls just because, well, he feels like they would deserve a chance just because they're equals. And let's just say that Jinbei and Frankie also join the group as well. Just let's throw the remaining Straw Hats together in one group, and I feel like they would manage very, very well. Not only are there very strong people among the group like Zoro, Jinbei and Frankie, the girls are also very smart, so if they are having a difficult time, they could come up with a strategy. So I will give all of them a pass together. The Marbles game, the episode that broke me inside in the show, because I was really, really a fan of Ali and I was not happy. I was not happy at all. I am going to follow the same thing that the show did, so I'm going to pair up the characters. I did this to a randomizer, so I did keep the Straw Hats once again together, paired off against each other. Maybe after the tug of war they were, like, kind of friends as well, like the girls did in the show as well. And not only that, but I am going to, like, give the remaining Straw Hats the same pass Minyao got when she got dragged away and, like, exempted from the game, so that's what I'm going to do here. So the randomizer brought me to Zoro and Nami as a pair-up, as well as Jinbei and Frankie, which means that Robin was the one that got dragged away and given a free pass for this game. Unfortunately, I feel like this team-up really plays to Zoro's disadvantage, because Nami would not be against cheating, but Zoro would due to his honor. So I am going to give this like more of a Sangu situation as well, with just Nami and Zoro playing games. And like, even if Nami would be losing, she would try to like play a trick on him. Again, like Sangu did to Ali in the show, and just like take his marbles and just like pretend that they were like, that they're still in there or something like that. Or maybe she would pick a game that she knows she can win and Zoro can't due to cheating. It's just like, I love Nami to death, but she's not an honorable player in any game, in any situation. Especially if her life is on the line, she is going to make the sacrifice of Zoro dying, I think. Frankie and Jinbei was like a kind of difficult one for me, because I feel like they would both play quite honorably and just stick to the rules and just like come down to a little bit of luck. Like marble games do tend to get down to a little bit of luck. So I see a situation like with the two girls in the show. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce their names, because God knows I cannot. But they would probably have the same situation where Jinbei, I feel like, would sacrifice himself for Frankie to win. That's what I assume, so yeah. The ones passing to the glass stepping stone game are Robin, Nami and Frankie, which is honestly not a combination I imagined like going through this game. Like I said, your answers really vary once you start going to it game by game. Like, I'm sure you would have different opinions about this as well as I do, but that's what makes it fun and a fun thought exercise, I think. Then the glass stepping stone game. So the first thing we need to consider is which number they would pick, and I feel like Frankie immediately would go for one of the earlier numbers, like 2, 1, 2, 3. That's just Frankie's thing, I feel. Well, the girls would probably just try to get more into the middle. Both would be analytical enough to say that like the front might be like disastrous, but the back might just as well be disastrous, because they don't know the game at that point yet, so they are going to play it safe by picking a middle number, I feel. While Frankie is one of the starting numbers, he has one thing going for him, and that's that he's a craftsman. He probably would be able to see the difference between the glass panes, like this one guy managed to do that worked with glass, just because Frankie has worked with a lot of materials, and it would surprise me that he would know the different kind of glass just because he builds a lot of ships and needs to know about glass a lot. So I feel like that would get him quite far until the game master, just like in the show, decides to turn off the lights so he couldn't be able to see it anymore. That's why I am going to eliminate Frankie, just because his luck can only take him so far after his wits, so I feel like he will probably die, and I will say that the girls survive just because they have gotten further into this game than I would assume. Like, Frankie would be more in front with than the craftsman had been in the show, so I feel like they would have gotten farther earlier, so they would have had more time to figure out how to tell the difference, and I am going to give the girls a pass just because they wouldn't have so much struggles with the time limit as they did in the show. Now this is a fun one, Robin and Nami in the Squid Game. I have to be honest, I still don't completely understand the rules of the Squid Game itself. I looked it up, but it was all really vague. So basically you have two teams. You have defense and offense. Here that's just Nami and Robin. I did a randomizer once again to decide which one was defense or offense, but first I'm going to explain the rules. So you have the shape of the squid head. The offense has to stay on the outside of the squids and get to the waistband of the squid. And until they get to the waistband, they can only jump on one foot. While the defense has to stay inside the shape and they cannot step foot outside of the shape or they lose. But they are permitted to do anything to try and make the offense like fall or stand on one foot or something like that. They do everything to prevent them from getting to these waist. When the offense reaches the waist and they go across, that's when they are allowed to walk on 2 feet. It is called Inspector Royale. Once both players are ready, they can get to the last stage, which takes place in the triangle part of the squid head. This is where the offense tries to get their foot into the circle on the top, which means that they would win, or the defense has to try to push the offender out of the shape again to just make them lose. So that's how you win or lose the game. The thing is, it was really vague when exactly you move on to the last stage, but I just like went with it, I guess. So through the power of randomization, we got Nami as offense and Robin as defense, and yeah, that was an interesting one to think about. They probably would have taken both their knives from like the dinner with them, like everyone did in the show as well, and they would probably have the same foresight to do so. And just when the game starts, Robin would give it her all to just try and knock Nami over. But Nami would be able to like just kind of jump around a little bit. Sure, you have to jump on your leg longer, but you also give the defense less time to just push you, because they cannot step outside of the shape. So I am going to assume that Nami manages to get to the waistband and go across to have Inspector Royale. So we get to the final part, and this is where probably Nami would start to play psychological tricks, because she would of course really want to win, and like both Nami and Robin are quite good at deception, which is why I think that Robin would see right through and not get like persuaded by that. Like when the game is busy, it starts to get aggressive, like it's one of the most aggressive children games in Korea. So I could see stabbing going on, and maybe Nami even hits Robin during the game, but Robin probably would be able to just bite through the pain and push Nami out, because like defense is really the favorable position to play in this game. I feel like it's easier to just try to push someone out, I think, than like trying to get to the target. And just because of the statistics to that and the fact that neither of them are really physically inclined, but I feel like they both had their own skills, I am going to have to say that Robin wins the Squid Game. Which is funny to me, because in my mind she was also more the Sang-woo type of character, and he would be the winner of the game, I think, if he didn't get emotional about Gi-hun. I didn't want to let the relationship factor be a thing in this thing, like I just wanted to be like just logical thinking. So yeah, this is my winner, Nico Robin. Let me know in the comments below what you think, or would have survived or lost a different game that I didn't think they would, and who your winner would be in the end. I hope this was fun for you. This was really fun for me. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye!